Hey guys, episode 5 of the Block Party podcast. I'm by myself right now. Rigo Lopez, as always, is going to join us a little bit later. But for now, let's just get straight into it. I'm going to talk about the NBA playoffs. We just finished round one. As you can tell, I am on my new mic. Well, it's not my new microphone per se, but I finally got a boom arm for it so I can adjust it to have the audio that I actually want. So it probably sounds a lot more crispy, which is a good thing in my opinion. But anyways, so NBA playoffs 2022, round one just finished. It was interesting to say the least. I kind of want to start, you know, from the top. I'll start with Golden State just because that's the one obviously I paid attention to the most. Gentleman sweep, 5 games, nothing crazy except for the emergence of Jordan Poole. I think it's kind of wild that he actually was able to average like 20 something points per game, in his playoff debut. And he scored, it was like the third most points scored in Warriors history for a playoff debut, like beating Steph. I think it was Chris Mullen as well. 63 points or something like that through 3 games. It was actually wild. So, bro was balling. Jokic, Joker, whatever you want to call him. A guy is insane. I call him the Trebuchet because that's what his shot form looks like. he's not a good shooter in my opinion, but everything else he's insane. Do I think he's the MVP this year? No, I'd give that to Embiid. But yeah, that was like kind of scary. After game 4, I was like, oh shoot, 3-1 lead, let's not blow it. But took care of business. Easy W. I'm not a huge fan of who our matchup is in the semis against Memphis. But here's the thing: after watching Memphis's first round against Minnesota, it's gonna be interesting because here's the thing: Golden State lost to Memphis. I think it was the series split was 2-2, I believe. I think we won twice. They won twice. It was either 2-2 or 3-1 in their favor. And I'm pretty sure it's 2-2. So I don't know what to expect. I still think Warriors in 6, but it could go either way. Jaw's a beast. I don't think he should have won MIP over Jordan Poole, but that's just me being a biased fan. It is what it is. Memphis, Minnesota again was kind of wild because they were both terrible. It was really boring to watch. I watched games 2 and 6 of the Minnesota series, and it was just Memphis was playing down to Minnesota's level. Minnesota's not a very good team, and Memphis just Golden State does that too. A lot of teams do that. I don't know why, but Memphis just with no playoff experience, I think just played down to their level when they shouldn't have. And so 4 wins. I personally think if Minnesota had won Game 6, I think the series would have gone towards Minnesota and they could have won, but obviously that didn't happen. Dallas, Utah, though. Wow. I honestly, when they announced Luka was going to be out for like a couple games, I was expecting Utah to like fully take advantage of that and win, but they have zero playoff like just grit, think like when a team does well in the playoffs, like inherently they are technically a better team because they've been in that situation before. But Utah, time after time, keeps losing in the first round and just doesn't know how to close out games. And so Dallas kind of capitalized on that. And Jalen Brunson played amazing. Dude is going to get paid this off summer. So I'm interested to see how that plays out. They're playing Phoenix. Phoenix beat New Orleans. I'll get to that in a second. But I genuinely believe that Dallas could go toe to toe with Phoenix because I don't believe in Phoenix either. Like there's a bunch of teams here I just don't believe in. And so I would have been cool. Like the fact that Phoenix and New Orleans went to 6 games kind of says a lot. So now that they have Luka back, Dallas could go far. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I do want to give a shout out to the Pelicans. That's actually insane. I thought it was like they were either getting swept or it was going seven. And obviously, it didn't go seven. But like the fact that they were able to take 2 games for the 8 seed and they're a 39 win team, a 36 win team, like dude, that's crazy. A team won 60 games. They dropped 2 playoff games to them. I think Jose Alvarado. I have this list of like menaces, like how good they are versus how much people hate them. And so, like at the top of the list, I've got like Campazzo on the Nuggets, Denny Advija from Washington, Nick Nurse, Mike Malone, a lot of Denver guys in there. I'm not a huge fan of Denver, quite honestly. Um, just a list of guys I am not a fan. A lot of people would probably put like Patrick Beverly on that list. I don't really care about Patrick Beverly that much because I don't know. It's just like the way I see this list, I just it's their attitude when guarding players I'm watching. And Jose Alvarado I've seen people put him on that list for like others as well, and I was like, well, he's kind of a humble guy. I mean, dude like came from nothing, and now he's like working his way into the NBA, and now he has actually like a solid rotation spot with like an NBA team. So I don't think he's doing it to be like pesky, like toxic. He's literally just like playing good defense, and he doesn't come out as cocky. So like when Campazzo does it on Denver, like you can tell Broke comes down the court and he's like, "Oh man, I'm about to make this bucket. Like I'm actually good at this game." When he's not, he's terrible. I mean, I don't know why he's got like an ego. I just look at their egos first. Like Nick Nurse, great example. Dude plays every single game like it's game 7 of the NBA Finals. And yes, they did beat Golden State in the NBA Finals, but I'm talking about regular season game. They keep he plays his starters like 90% of the game. Like they get no rest. Like Pascal Siakam averages like 30 something minutes a game, and in the playoffs dude played like 45 minutes. It was wild. And it's just like he's a sweat. He's a try hard, and it doesn't like it doesn't work out well for him. So it's just like, bro, just calm down. Like there's a difference between playing to the buzzer and then just killing your players. Like I don't think anybody wants that. Anyway, so shout out for Jose Alvarado. Dude's a baller. I actually really like him. Um, CJ McCollum also, like, dude like revitalized his career in New Orleans. Not to say he never was washed, but like him and Dame weren't going anywhere in Portland, and so to get traded and like have zero control over it and just be thrown into this new situation and actually like start balling. Like dude's averaging like 25 a game with New Orleans and like helped them get to the playoffs. Like that's huge. Plus they'll have Zion next year, so that's they're a sleeper pick next year, honestly. Phoenix, I mean, again, I don't have faith in them. I think they're a conference finals team, like them or Dallas. Like I would take either, honestly, like I said, but I don't see them going to the finals and winning. Like I just they're a regular season team. They're a lot like the 2018 Rockets. So I just have zero faith. As far as the East goes, as a Western Conference fan, um, I'm usually never concerned with the East at this moment, but I obviously everybody had their eyes glued to the Boston Brooklyn games. Of course, they got swept, and that's honestly hilarious because Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are in Cancun now, so that's a W. Um, but that Celtics team, man, dude, I'm not trying to see them in the finals at all, and the reason is because they match up so well against Golden State. If it's a Golden State Boston final, I would put money on Boston to win the chip because they just match up so well. Now, that being said, like I still think like Golden State could win, but it would be 6 or 7 games. It would take everything for them to win. Whereas if Boston just goes off, it could be done in 5, just because they match up so well. Like Marcus Smart can play against Steph and Clay, and then JT and JB like play the wings, Wiggins, Jordan Poole, stuff like that. And then of course like Robin Williams, their center. Dude's a beast. Like I gotta give him kudos. You know what I'm saying? So they're a good team. I genuinely hope Milwaukee takes them out. Um, and then Milwaukee kind of destroying Chicago. Chicago didn't even have playoff experience. I know DeMar DeRozan's like been to the Toronto, second round, uh, the conference finals and whatnot. But it just with a new team, Zach LaVine's never played in the playoffs. Alonzo was still out, and it was they were like against top teams. I think they like had like a super terrible losing record, and so it just didn't end up well for them. So that's like really not a surprise, honestly. But next year, there's always next year. Philadelphia, Toronto. Honestly, the outcome is about what I expected, and the reason is because Matisse Thybulle wasn't able to play in Toronto because he's not vaccinated in Canada's rules or whatever, and that's a insane defensive stopper that's gone. So I was like, okay, well, Toronto's probably going to be able to take one or two games, and that's exactly what happened. Joel Embiid played great. James Harden did not. He's not good. I will continue to say this for the rest of my life. As like, I just don't see the appeal of James Harden. I genuinely don't. Like, kind of like when Kevin Durant came to Golden State. Like, oh great, he's in theory a good player, but well, I mean, Kevin Durant, James Harden, two different players, so maybe I shouldn't use that example. But you know, they're not. He's not good. He's not a superstar. I don't know why people label him as such. Hot take of the day. Also, Joel Embiid is injured. That's not good for Philadelphia. Miami could win this. And quite frankly, I'm rooting for Philadelphia because if they get to the finals and Golden State meets them there, as everybody knows, I'm a Golden State fan, so my homer pick is Golden State to go to the finals. My non-biased pick would either be Phoenix, Memphis, or Golden State. Just those three teams, or Dallas. It's anybody, honestly, at this point. I think if Golden State can get past Memphis, they're going to the finals. If Phoenix beats Dallas and it's Memphis, then I think Phoenix is going. If it's Dallas, Memphis, then it's probably Memphis. But if Golden State beats Memphis, I think they're going to the finals. The problem is the top three seeds in the East, like they all match up relatively well with Golden State. And so they could win. Milwaukee, Miami, and Boston specifically. Boston for sure the best. Then I'd say Miami's a little bit better, and then Milwaukee's definitely doable because as long as you take out Giannis and Middleton, then you make the other players score. You have to make Grayson Allen score. You have to make Bobby Portis score. Like these guys, you can easily lock up with second string players, and so I definitely think like that's just Milwaukee's case. Miami, what Hero? Who do they have? Gabe Vincent. Like just these guys who make him beat. And Jimmy's like streaky anyways. Jimmy buckets. I wouldn't expect him to average 40 like he did in the bubble. Those bubble points. So we'll see what happens. Atlanta got absolutely destroyed. Trae Young played terrible. Not surprised, and the reason is because he's always been a volume shooter, but he never puts up points. Like, yeah, he's had 50-point, 40-point games, but if you check the percentages, it's like he's never been super accurate. It's like if I took 20 shots and made 8 of them, well, that'd actually be pretty good. That'd be 40%. But, if I took 100 shots and I made 30 of them, but I made 30 in a row, you're like, oh, man, you were on, bro. Well, no, I was actually 30%. That's terrible. And so that's kind of what Trae Young is. So we got Miami, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Boston, Golden State, Memphis, Phoenix, Dallas. I'm going to put Phoenix over Dallas just because I don't think Luka can carry this Dallas squad. Like, even if you have two players, it takes a team to win a championship. And so you got Dinwiddie, Brunson, and Luka, and you can count them for 60 points. So where's the other 30, 40 points going to come from? I just don't think they got it. Phoenix is a lot deeper, especially because they went to the finals last year. I'd put them in the Western Conference final slot. Golden State versus Memphis. Homer says Golden State. Not a huge fan of Memphis. I think they play really well against Golden State. It could go either way. but I'm a homer here, so we're putting Golden State in the conference finals, and then definitely Miami over Philadelphia. If Joel Embiid's not playing, like they're screwed. It's a straight sweep if Joel Embiid's not playing. Milwaukee over Boston. I think Boston's gonna win. I hope Milwaukee wins. I would say in 5 or 6. If Milwaukee wins, it's a miracle and a straight W, and I'll take it. Giannis is gonna have to play out of his mind and not get locked up, kind of like Kevin Durant did. And then what would be Miami? Let's throw Boston in there. Miami, Boston. I'd say Boston. I think Boston's going to the finals, no question. And then, yeah, Golden State, Boston. And then I'd have to say it just really depends on how well Golden State plays. If they're making shots, they could win. But I think Boston has a real shot at winning the championship this year. Like genuine shot, if anything. A lot of things have to fall for Golden State or Phoenix to win. Especially Phoenix, you know. If you look at it from Phoenix's side, then they have to go through Golden State, and they're good too. So I would put if I was a betting man, I would put Boston as the championship favorites. But round 1 was great. Round 2 starts tomorrow. I think it's hilarious. You know, got to get my Lakers slander in there. You know what I'm saying? Good job for finishing the season terrible. So happy it ended terribly. I think Russell Westbrook is gone in the off summer. And LeBron and you know what's funny is the management already blamed LeBron and Anthony Davis for doing terrible. Like they already like the report came out that said LeBron and Anthony Davis have been blamed for like bringing Westbrook to the team. But like, why are we acting like LeBron and Davis played amazing? Like LeBron, yeah, okay, he played pretty good, but I would consider it stat padding. Like, why are you still playing? 37 years old. Why are you playing when you're down 20? Like that's what half the games were. Like at that point, I would sit, like rest for the next game. So and Anthony Davis, you know, Anthony Day to Davis. There you go. That's the correct name. Bro is just not there this season, in my opinion. That's why he wasn't an all-star. So it's funny that they're trying to shift the blame and have Russell Westbrook take literally everything, which I find a little unfair. Yeah, he does deserve criticism because he's played terrible, but like everything, like, oh, it's not LeBron or Anthony Davis's fault. It's kind of ridiculous. But it is Los Angeles after all, so they're gonna blame who they're gonna blame, and it is what it is. That's it. We're gonna take a quick break, and then me and Rigo will be back to talk about the NFL draft, a little bit of that, maybe a Padres update, and then some Twitter stuff. You'll see when we come back. All right, we're back. Rigo's here now. We're gonna talk about some Padres stuff, Twitter, and then a surprise at the end that I think you guys will enjoy. But for now, baseball is officially underway. A couple games into the season. Padres looking good, 14-8. I looked at the records. They have the 8th best record in the league, but it's like tied 5th because there's other teams that are 14-8 as well. I know you're a Giants fan, as always, and they're right up there with them. I mean, kind of to be expected because all the California teams are pretty good. Have you seen any of their games this season or no? Because I'll be honest, yeah, I haven't gone to any Padres games yet. I keep up with like the box score and you know, the scores after the games and the social media. And the crazy part is, I mean, it's the Padres, so you know, you kind of expect them to fizzle out, but I mean, thus far they're doing, I'd say, pretty good. And the craziest part is we don't even have Tatis back yet, so I would say it's pretty positive thus far.
How did you get injured again?
It was the motorcycle accident in the off season, and then he's
Okay.
out for 3 months. But I mean, the team stepped up. I know Hosmer's batting like 400 right now, and I have like 20 different memes on my phone of Hosmer just playing, or Hosmer memes, because everybody hates Hosmer and wants him to get traded. You know who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. What
Eric
about Machado?
Hosmer.
How's he doing?
Machado's doing good. Cronenworth's doing good. Jerks and Profar, my man, stepping up. I've seen like memes online, and he's like actually playing good too right now. So that's good.
Yeah.
because I had him last season. I had like a bunch of memes on my phone, and it's like Profar, the goat. You know what I'm saying? He's the meme player.
Who's playing for Tatis?
In the starting lineup,
Is it CJ?
I don't know, but I know that the
Because
lineup's
he played
adjusted.
shortstop, right?
Probably.
Yeah, he played shortstop. He played shortstop.
What's his full name?
Uh, CJ Abrams.
Let me check.
I think he's on the
No, no, no,
Padres.
no, no, no. Kim's in the lineup now.
Oh, okay. So is CJ? Or is he in outfield? No. Oh, he's an
It's
infielder.
Grisham, Cronenworth, Machado, Profar, Hosmer, Kim, Beatty, Alfaro, and then Camposano. Never heard of that guy. And then Manea's pitcher, who's like he's been balling.
Okay.
But obviously, like Grisham, Cronenworth, Machado, Profar, and Hosmer and Kim are like the main guys, which makes sense. Hassan Kim, I think is his name. Dude's a baller.
Yeah, I only brought up CJ because dude, that guy's young. He was born in 2000.
Really? He's only
Yeah,
a year older than us.
yeah, that's crazy, and
What
he's
the
out
heck?
here balling out.
I know. It's like you see these athletes, professional athletes that eventually like one day I'd like want to talk to them, but they're like 21, 22 years old. They're making $8 million a year to play a professional sport. Meanwhile, I'm making minimum wage. It's like,
Yeah, it'd be like that, man.
not a fan of it. Put me on the roster and pay me like $100K a year, and I'll
Yeah, I'll be a sub, bro. I'll be a
yeah.
sub. Yeah,
You
pay
know,
me a sub's wage.
in hockey, this complete change of subject, but this reminds me. In hockey, they have like emergency goalies that they like bring on to the team, and they're like they don't even like.
They don't use them.
Well, no, no, no. It's not that they don't use them, and this happened literally like 2 days ago. I mean, nobody watches hockey except for Canadians, but someone on like a hockey team got subbed in, and it was like his debut or whatever, but he's like their emergency like goalie, and he's like just on he doesn't even have the name he doesn't even have his name on the back of his jersey. It was just like an extra like standard jersey. Like that's how like no like irrelevant he was. And so like they have these guys that they like bring on. Like I remember like a couple years ago some guy came in to a hockey game like as their like emergency goalie, and like his full-time job is like a high school teacher or something like that,
What?
or a janitor, something like where he doesn't make very much money, and now he's like playing in the NHL.
Is
Like
he
they
still a
should
backup?
I don't well he's listed as a backup. He's not like he's like when your main person gets injured and then your backup gets injured and then like your third string gets injured and then they need someone else. That's that person. And so it's like one of those feel good stories that they post on Sports Center.
Let me ask you a question, actually.
Yeah, what's up?
I know this is like so I saw in Call of Duty, but this could apply to sports. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. If if you're a head coach of a team and your team like they haven't won like a major tournament or like a major like event, right? And one of your starting rosters gets like one person on your starting roster gets sick or like injured or whatever,
Okay.
and so you have to put in the substitute. But when you put in that substitute, they end up winning their first major event, but it's with the substitute. So the substitute performed well. So now the starting player is feeling good. What would you do? Would you keep the sub or would you start the guy
Didn't this
again?
happen with like Carson
This
Wentz in the Eagles, where he was like the backup and then
Or they
like they're
started him.
and then they start him and then they like won the Super Bowl a couple years back.
Yeah, this happened recently with Call of Duty, like with the LA Gorillas. So they kept the guy. They kept the guy on
Yeah.
the starting roster for a while because I think they're just testing him out. They're trying to see like, okay, can we win
Yeah.
another one with this guy? What did they just play extremely well? Like, you never know. Like, what would you
I
do?
I would I mean it depends. If the starter, the original starter is like a legit like he's earned that starting lineup spot. He's like a veteran. He's been with the program for a long time. He's like a superstar. I would give him that start. Like if it was like LeBron James, I'd give him that starting spot
Mhm.
like back. But if it's like a younger team where there's no like defined roles and nobody like has solidified anything, then it's up for grabs. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm the head coach of the Detroit Pistons, right? Well, not let's use the Magic. They're even worse. Um, and you put a guy who's like really good in the starting spot, but then he gets injured, um, and then they come back. Actually, this is a great example. Sorry, I'm gonna switch gears. The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Hmm.
Colin Sexton was their starting point guard. He gets injured. Darius Garland comes in. Then they make the play-in tournament. He becomes an all-star and is now like really, really good. So what do? Well, because it was up for grabs and this kid comes out and just balls out,
He takes the starter
he
position,
takes
right?
us. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And so it's kind of up to Colin, who like Colin Sexton, if he wants to get that starting spot back, he's got to put in the work because it was never his in the first place because he was only like 2 years into the league and whatnot. So yeah, that's my positioning. I personally, and like obviously people are different. I'm all about loyalty and like putting in the work, and if you're just with the program, and obviously if you have skill and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put the starter back immediately. Like I think what happened with the Call of Duty situation and the situation you gave is just like if the substitute performs and they win their first, like this is the organization's very first like
Championship.
tournament that they've ever won. Yeah, that won like
Well,
a
that's huge.
championship.
Yeah,
That's huge. And
I'd
he
reward
won
him.
yeah, and he won MVP of the event.
Yeah, then I would
So
definitely reward him. That's
so
like a
yeah,
no-brainer.
you're starting, and but here's the thing: if he doesn't
Maintain
consistently do
that. I
that,
would
because
give
he knows,
opportunities to the original starter because
yeah,
I would go to that guy. I don't know who it is. I would tell him like, "Yo, look what just happened." Like if if that happened, I would understand. I'd say, "Okay, I'm gonna go back into the lab and put in some work." And then when my opportunity comes, like prove it again. You know what I mean?
100%, yeah, and obviously it wasn't the starter's fault that he got sick. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what could have happened in that event if he was like still like good.
Yeah.
But because they won with the sub and the sub ended up winning MVP, it's just like
That's
yeah,
huge.
like that's huge. That's
If
huge.
anything,
So
you should
I
be
would
happy
definitely give
because
him a
your team
chance.
is more deep.
Oh,
Like your
100%.
roster. And that's a huge difference, especially like in a sporting tournament and whatnot.
Because a lot of people have rosters that like, okay, we'll just pick up the sub because we need to fill that sub spot, and the sub doesn't perform at all. Well, granted, some of them don't practice with their subs; they just practice with their starting roster. But the fact that this guy just jumps in and demolishes people, it's just like crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I want to get your opinion on something. As anybody knows, Elon Musk has purchased Twitter,
Hmm.
which is like
Yeah,
kind of wild.
that's
Now,
huge. That's huge.
like I know like his whole thing's like free speech and whatnot, but I want to get your opinions on it first.
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, um, nah, I don't want to go to like into like very like deep like politics or anything like that because that can go that way.
Yeah, we
You
can
know,
skim it. We can skim it. I want to
no,
hear
no,
this.
no. But I just think that I think honestly, I thought he was trolling. Because
At first,
everyone knows Elon Musk.
he's a straight
Like
meme.
yeah, he's a straight meme. Goes on the Joe Rogan podcast, smokes like and like I'm not bashing him for that. Like he
Yeah,
does what he wants. Like he's a businessman. Like he loses sales, whatever. But honestly, dude, I don't know what to think about the Twitter thing. Like that's just a thing that like just came up out of nowhere.
that's facts.
And it's like no one expected that. If you would have told me last year that Elon Musk was buying Twitter, I would have been like, no, he's not. Like
But
he's
at the same time, like low key,
low
yes,
key, I would have believed it. Yeah, you know why? Because it's Elon Musk. If you would have told me
the
that
richest man in
like
the world.
yeah, which is the guy from Amazon, right? I forget what his name
No,
is.
it's Elon.
Oh, Elon's the richest guy now?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
When did that happen?
No idea, but sometime within the last couple of years.
No, it was the guy who owned Amazon.
Yeah,
It was
Jeff
the CEO.
Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Jeff Bezos is still the.
No, I thought it was Elon, dog. I'm
No,
pretty
it's Jeff
sure.
Bezos, 100%.
Oh,
It has to be. Because people use Amazon a lot more than like Tesla and
point is,
SpaceX and all that. But like,
he's
point is,
loaded.
point is, Elon
Serious
has some
cash.
territory. Yeah, serious
Yeah.
cash, has some serious territory right now. And dude, honestly, I don't like I said, I don't know what to think about the whole Twitter situation because it just popped up. Like it's just like, oh, Elon Musk is buying like a bunch of stocks in Twitter. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like maybe he's like owning part
Yeah.
of it, and then he buys the whole thing, and I'm just like, wow, he was serious. Like
$43 billion. dollars.
have you ever had a friend like at school where they say they're gonna do something and you're like, oh yeah, like go
They're
for it,
not
and
gonna
then they
do it.
actually they're not gonna do it, and then they actually do it, and you're like, wait, what? Like
Hey,
like you
yo.
actually did it? Like that's how I felt like happened, and I think it's pretty cool that he did that. I agree with like the things that he's trying to say about like free speech and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I think social media shouldn't be censored like that, and
Yeah,
that like staying
definitely.
away from like political stuff. But I think he's gonna like I don't know if he's gonna unban certain people because like there's
I don't
been
think he
I
is.
don't think he is, but because there's been people that have been banned for
Yeah.
saying certain things, and a lot of it includes politics. But you never know. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he unbanned people. Like he does what he wants with it. He
It's
owns
true.
Twitter. So
I
and
know.
here's the thing. Now that he owns Twitter, like I support Elon and what he does. So I'm like a full supporter of Twitter now because like for me, if the CEO sucks and like what they support like doesn't agree with what I like believe, I kind of like stay away from it. But because
Hmm.
like Elon's a cool guy, entrepreneur, like he just seems pretty like cool, like he's very down to earth.
Yeah, he's
I support
likable.
Twitter. Yeah, he's likable. Exactly. There are CEOs that aren't likable, like the Carl's Jr. CEO a long time ago. Like, no, I'm
That's
giving you
so
the example.
random. Okay, okay.
No, no, no. Like, get this. Like, he was the one that caused them to like have the girls. The girls eating like sex, like
Oh,
these
yeah,
like
when
the
they
girls
use
in the
like,
sexy bikinis with the burgers, like the fake
uh-huh.
burgers.
I
Yeah,
yeah.
that was when he was CEO, but nobody liked him.
Yeah,
Like
that makes
nobody.
sense.
Like he was just like a
Weird.
douche. Like he was weird. But then yeah, I just feel like that's what happened with Twitter. It was out of nowhere. I'm actually happy he bought it. I think it's pretty cool. So I
I'll
guess
tell you
we'll
what
have to see from
though.
there.
One comment that he said kind of stands out to me. That like really shows like what he wants to do with it when he I don't know if you like read any of his tweets lately because
I've read them. I've read them.
I use Twitter a lot more than you probably. But he said that like transparency is like both the pissing off the left and the right equally, which I thought was like, yeah, that's facts because that means it's like actually neutral.
Hmm.
So I'm like,
Yeah, and
I'm with it.
yeah, exactly. He even said, I hope even the people that don't support me stay on Twitter because that's what free speech is about.
Facts
So that's
based.
like it shows that he has good intentions for it because like there's obviously a censorship problem. Like I'm not gonna get too
Yeah.
deep into it, but there is. And there's sides that are being favored and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna jump into that. But it's just it's there.
Do you think
So I'm
there's
cool.
any? Sorry, go finish your sentence.
Oh no, I was just saying it's cool to see that Elon's standing for something that I personally stand for.
Now, do you think there's any cool features that are going to be added to Twitter, like now that he's like taking over?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be some like funny stuff. Did you know Teslas can make like a farting sound as
Like
their
with their
horn?
horn, yeah, they can do like
Yeah,
anything.
I think it's gonna be stuff like that, like something like random. Like they have like a romance mode in like a Tesla where it plays like a fire. Yeah, it plays a fireplace, like
What
like
the
a
heck?
like a video of a fireplace like in your thing, and like I think there's like lights in it that like dim to like red or whatever. And I'm like,
Okay,
dude, if I
dude.
was if I was on a date and I played that, bro, the girl would think I'm like a weirdo.
Yeah, I would
Like
too.
turn on romance mode. Like what the hell?
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely don't want that. Dude, I saw his freaking thing. He said the check mark might be buyable now.
No way.
Yeah, he said that if people like he was thinking about changing it, obviously like this is nothing set in stone, but he kind of like alluded to having Twitter because you know Twitter Blue, right? It's like their paid service. It's like
Yeah.
$3. He said that people who pay for Twitter Blue would get the blue check mark.
Well, how much do you think they charge for that?
I have no idea, but I'm like low I would be down for that. If you said, "Hey, pay $5 and you get the blue check mark on Twitter," Like, all right, say
What if it was a
less.
monthly subscription?
Maybe, but also at the same time, it'd like totally diminish like the
It would diminish the point of it because they
yeah.
just bought it.
Yeah, that's facts. But dude, there's already people out there with like 5 followers and they're freaking verified. It's like, who
Yeah,
are
I don't know
you?
how that worked. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, I don't know who you are. How are you verified when I've
It's like
never heard of you?
it's like the people on YouTube. Have you ever seen the comment section on like a YouTube video and it's like this random guy with like a bunch of like subscribers, and
Yeah.
then you go to like check out their channel and they're like nobodies, but they just like have a bunch of subscribers because they're like comment bots or whatever, and they like it's a whole weird situation. But that's kind of what it gives me like the vibes because they're verified on YouTube and all that side. It's just
Yeah,
crazy
but
to me.
the only like two platforms I'd say that like verification really matters on is Instagram and Twitter.
Mm,
Like if you come to me like, yeah, I'm verified on YouTube, I'd be like, great. There's a tiny, tiny little check mark you get on your channel.
hmm
That's it. Maybe Twitch, but that's like more niche because it's video games. Not as many people use like Twitch. Like everybody uses Twitter and Instagram.
100%.
So I just like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now here's the big surprise. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness comes out next week. Next Thursday is premiere night. Super excited about that. Now, you told me before we went live that you prefer DC over Marvel, and I
do.
am curious as to why you would do that to yourself.
I mean, you tell me why you like Marvel.
Nope.
Actually, I want to. All right, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. For me, when I see a movie, I think a lot about the bigger picture behind the movies. And so, me
Okay.
personally, I think the Batman trilogies are like my favorite. Like
Okay.
I love Batman. I love
Yes.
Batman.
I will side with you on this. The Christopher Nolan trilogy with Christian Bale
Mm-hmm.
is
Cool.
goated.
Even the new
Top
one with
10
Matt.
trilogies of all time. And you
Mm-hmm.
can fight me on that one.
Well, even the new one with Matt Reeves, it was just like he did a good job with the like Batman. Like he made a new trilogy and he did an amazing job with it.
What trilogy?
He there's a new Batman trilogy. The new one that came out. It's like it's a new world.
Yeah, but it's only one. There's no trilogy.
Oh my
Unless
bad.
they're
I got it mixed up. What's it called then? Like it's not called a trilogy, but like it's a different storyline.
okay.
So it is a
I
trilogy, right?
No, trilogy is 3 movies.
Oh, you're right. Oh, never mind. No, no, no. But they're making it a trilogy.
Oh,
They're
really?
making it yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I've heard the word trilogy being used. So his intention is to make it a trilogy. So I just think not to get too into Batman, but it's just like I don't. I feel like the characters are a lot more like relatable. I like real world like. I don't know. I just feel like with Marvel, it's just like, and I get it. The people that like direct like the Marvel movies and stuff like that, they're very like creative and like I just feel like I side more with like the DC universe than the Marvel universe. And I feel like with Marvel, and this is what I don't like about Marvel is that their their storyline is so long and a bunch of these movies, and you're going to disagree with me on this because you're a Marvel fan, but I feel like if I wanted to get into Marvel, I would literally have to start from the very beginning because the
Yeah.
storyline is so long. Like, and here's the thing: if I want to enjoy it, like I'm not gonna go see the new Spider-Man movie with my friends
You
if
haven't
I
seen
haven't
the other.
seen the
Yeah.
previous ones. I that kills the vibe for me because when I was watching Infinity War, I was confused. Like I was confused why what's his name, Ant-Man came out of the teleport. I was confused because I didn't see the movies, like I didn't, and I don't know if that's what happened in Infinity War. It probably happened in Endgame, but I would like because I'm not a huge Marvel fan. I feel like if I was a Marvel fan from the start,
Then you'd understand.
then I would understand, and maybe I would have went to Marvel.
Here's
I
the thing.
but
I got lucky. My first MCU movie was Captain America: The First Avenger, and that was in 2011. So
yeah.
I was there since phase 1. I got
Mhm.
lucky.
Yeah, 100%. And like I do like watching like the Marvel movies that aren't like directly in like the storyline yet. Like Eternals. Like I didn't think it was the best movie. People hated on it a lot, but I thought it was pretty cool. Like I was just like,
Uh,
okay, I'm not confused.
uh
These are new characters. You know, like that's what I like because
okay, I see what you're saying.
that yeah, I feel like if I have to keep up with so much stuff at once, and I think it's cool. I think it's cool that Marvel does that. But for me personally, I feel like if I were to invite you to see like any of the Batman like trilogy movies that came out by Christopher Nolan, it wouldn't matter. You know, like I could see
I
the
could
one with
pick it
Bane.
up.
Yeah, you could pick it up. Like you could see the one with Bane like first, and you could see the one with the Scarecrow last, or you could see the one with the Joker. Like you know, like it wouldn't matter if I brought you to like either one of those movies first, because it's a whole like I'm not gonna say it's a different storyline, but it is. You know, it's a
Well,
different plot.
what I'm under from what I'm understanding is that you enjoy the DC universe because they're all one-offs. You can pick up a movie and put it down and that's that. You don't have to watch 20 hours worth of movies and then you're caught up. It's you see a movie, you go watch it, that's it.
Well, yeah, and I also like this. I obviously like the storyline of like
The realism
some of the yeah
for
the
to
realism.
an to a point because it's all superheroes at the same time.
Yeah, and yeah, because Marvel is just like, oh, they're going to space and all, and I love the Marvel universe. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I love the Marvel movies. Like, don't get me wrong, like I do enjoy them. I think they're high quality movies. I just think for DC though, it's just like I just like their storyline. DC likes to make very like deep. Like
Gritty,
I liked the new Batman because it was very like it was very dark, and it
grounded.
was very like it was very dark rounded, and it was just like I just like those type of movies. Like with
It's a
Marvel, it's
fair
always like,
point.
oh, like yeah, like oh, the superheroes, like and all that, and like Avengers Unite and stuff like that. And I think that's cool. I
I've
I
heard that
enjoy that
before.
too. Yeah, I enjoy that too. It's just with DC, I don't know. DC has something different. I just like how their storylines like go together. I don't. It's so weird. Like I just like how they. I just like the plot behind it. Like how there's like a bigger message. Like there's corruption here. There's like the police are like getting paid off by like the joke, you know, like it's cool to me. It's very like it can be tied into the real world, where it's
So
whereas
you
with
like street level
Marvel,
heroes then?
I love street level heroes. I like
Okay.
Batman. I like I mean, Superman isn't like a street level hero. Like
No, he's not.
he's an alien, you know, obviously. But like I like heroes like Batman. I like villains like the Joker because like
Mm-hmm.
you never know, anybody could have been the Joker. You know, like you never know, somebody crazy enough could be the Joker and like lead the whole like thing of plot. That's what I like to see. Not anybody can just be an Iron Man. Not anybody can just be a Captain America. You know what I mean? And who knows? Maybe I'll be
Yeah.
wrong. But I just feel like Batman's more like real. I like to connect with movies, and so I just felt like DC is like that for me, and Batman's my favorite superhero, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I like to see.
Well, for me, growing up, I had both. I was a huge Batman fan as a kid. You know, I probably went as Batman for Halloween. I know I went as Spider Man multiple times.
Hmm.
So I had both. Um, but like growing up in a Marvel family, and what I mean by that is my dad kind of introduced me to Marvel when I was younger, so I kind of already had that. But like, it wasn't like he stopped me from like reading DC or whatever. So I had both, and I really liked Superman, and I loved the Lego Batman games growing
Mm.
up. Like those are all time. So I had both. But the thing that I really, really appreciate about Marvel, and this is to the complete opposite of your point, is I really, really enjoy long, intricate, drawn out stories that are super, super developed. So that
Mm.
means I also like binge watching seasons with 20 episodes, 45 minutes a piece, you know?
Hmm.
That's
Well,
just me. So go ahead.
let me see. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let me step in there for a second. I probably said that wrong. I don't bash on that. Like I don't hate that Marvel's so long. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm not caught up. Maybe that's why. Because that's why I said earlier. I was like, if I was caught up with it, like if I watched it from the beginning, I would probably be a Marvel fan over a DC fan because like I get it. Like people are like, oh my gosh, this like hero made a guest appearance, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like
Yeah,
who's the Winter Soldier? You know, like I don't like. It takes me a while, and then I have to have someone next to me explain to me
that would be
like
me.
what the
I'm
hell
that
just
guy.
happened. You know, like and for me, it's just like I love Star Wars. I think that's one of the best like movie franchises to ever like
Hmm.
exist,
I,
you know,
I
if
like
not the
Star Wars.
best.
Yeah,
And like and here's the thing, Star Wars is a very like it's like Marvel where it's all these movies and you have to watch like the prequels. Well, you don't have to watch the prequels because it started from 4, but like if you want to go from like the beginning, like if you want it to make sense, you can't just go watch like episode like 5. You know, you're gonna be
yeah,
confused. You're gonna be like, who's this Han Solo guy? Who's, you know, you're gonna have to watch it from, you can either watch it 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, or you could go 1, 2, 3, 4,
four,
5,
five,
6, 7, 8,
yeah.
9. You know, like and that's why I love Star Wars so much, because I was able to keep up with it, and even if I wasn't, I was able to like be willing to like, hey, I'll watch it. But for Marvel, dude, I feel like Marvel has like 50 movies, dude. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I could be
I think it's up
wrong.
to
They
like
probably only have like, yeah,
25 now.
exactly, bro. That's a lot, and some of these movies are long, dude. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Batman only has a trilogy, and they're making a new one, and it's just like
Hmm.
it's interesting to me that what DC did is like you could just jump in at any time. You know, like and here's the thing, I've never seen Batman Begins. I've never seen the one with the Scarecrow. I want to watch it, but I do like the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
I mean, and I jumped in with the Dark Knight, and then I watched the Dark Knight Rises, but I didn't have to start at Batman Begins to understand the flow,
yeah,
to understand the vibes that Batman was giving. And so, I mean, but don't get me wrong, I do like that Marvel does, like I do like binge watching shows. I do like shows with long series and that I could just sit at home and just like watch for hours. I don't like recommend that to anybody because like get off your bed, but like, you know,
yeah.
that's just my opinion. I don't like
I
I
see
that's
it.
why
I
I
don't
like,
necessarily agree with it, but
yeah.
I see it. Now,
Well,
that being
you
said,
started from the beginning. You started from the beginning. You have to keep that in mind. My point of view is just like I have to catch up. Who knows?
yeah.
Maybe if I do catch up, I'll
But
like
at the
Marvel
same
better.
time, yeah, it's like, okay, great. I've been introduced to this. Now I get to go back and watch everything and then
But
enjoy
that's
the
a lot of
nukes.
movies, bro.
Isn't that a good thing though?
I guess. I
The,
mean,
the,
but
the answer
like,
is yes, because like if you want to watch like a good movie, then you say, all right, tonight I'm watching Iron Man 2, which I haven't seen yet. Like, boom. And then the next night it'll be I don't know, Ant-Man. Haven't seen that one yet. So boom. It's like
but
you
Marvel's so consistent to the point where like if like let's say Far From Home is about to come out, right? And they already came out, I've already seen that movie. I'm like, oh crap, like if this is coming out. Nah, I gotta go start from freaking Captain America. Like, you know, it's
Well, that's the thing though. It's like it's I I
like it'll
understand that
build
it
up to
looks
it.
overwhelming at first, but it's really not because all you have to do is watch them once and then like you catch up cuz Marvel projects only release like once every 3 months. And then of
That's
course you
all,
have like
dude. That's pretty consistent. I'm
that
not gonna
is
lie, that's
consistent, but
consistent.
if a movie's only 2 hours, right? And you've got and you watch two, let's say two movies a week. On a Friday and a Saturday, you watch one movie a night. That's after 8 weeks, 8 or 9 weeks. That's a majority of it done, and then you get to go watch the newest movie.
You're right. No, you're right, 100%. I mean, but also like I said, that wasn't the only reason why I prefer DC. Like I said, I do like street level heroes. You
Hmm.
know, I love Batman.
Now, let me. Sorry, I wanted when you first mentioned that. Have you seen Daredevil on Netflix?
I have not.
That Daredevil is literally one of my
Oh,
top.
and I do like Deadpool. Like, Deadpool is one of my
Well,
favorite.
Daredevil and Deadpool are different.
Yeah, because Deadpool isn't like it's not like street level because
He
like
kind
obviously
of
like
is.
he's invincible. Like come on.
Yes and no. There's like
Yeah,
a weird in between.
yeah.
Like
Like
I would
Wolverine. Like
not.
Wolverine was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hugh Jackman's a goat for that. But
Hmm.
like street level to me, like Spider Man is not a street level hero because in the comics he is. In the MCU, I would disagree because of just the cosmic report. Like he fought Thanos. Um, this new movie and whatnot. Just like I would disagree. Whereas Daredevil, he fights guys that are contained within this small little bubble, and the outside world is not affected. Whereas Spider-Man has fought in villains that are affecting the outside world, namely Doctor Strange. Like when it starts colliding into other villains, that's when I'm like, okay, he's not really a street level
Okay,
hero.
then I would like Daredevil then.
You
'cause
would,
it's
you
just
would
like I can
absolutely
start
love
from episode
Daredevil.
1 and not have to like go back to like, Winter Soldier. You know, like
Yeah.
that's. I feel like that. You're right.
It's
It's
his
just like
own little
overwhelming.
like micro universe type thing. And here's the thing about Daredevil specifically is it's actually not MCU. Yeah, yes and no. It's weird. I'm not going to get into it right now, but it's on Netflix. I highly recommend that you watch it because it's got action. It's dark. It is very
Hmm.
dark. It could pass off as a DC show for sure. It's amazing.
I did see the trailer. It does give DC vibes. I'm not gonna cap.
It's really really good. Anyways, so yeah, that's my opinion. I'd say so. I
Hmm.
see where you're coming from. Um, I don't operate that way. As far as like just general heroes go, I think Marvel takes the cake so fast. Just uh, uh, the only DC like superheroes I like I said, I liked Batman when I was a kid. Now, not so much. He's just a
Hmm.
guy who's rich and has a suit on. And yes, that is literally Iron Man as well. And I
Hmm.
am not like I like Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Iron Man, but as far as a superhero Iron Man goes, I would put him farther down on my list because of that reason. So like DC like I like the Flash. I like Barry Allen. He's dope. And then I think I like Wonder Woman. I think like the new Wonder Woman movie, Wonder Woman 84. That movie was actually garbage. But
It
the
was
first one,
Wonder Woman 84 sucked.
it was
No,
so bad.
I like when you said where you were like, hey, like superheroes, Marvel wins. I agree. I agree. I think Marvel has the best superheroes. Uh, Batman, people can consider him a superhero. Like he doesn't consider himself a hero. You know, like it's like a very like weird like vigilante like you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about Deadpool. That's why I loved the movie Deadpool because
Well,
he wasn't a hero. You know, like
he's like an anti-hero.
and then Superman, like I guess if you've read the
He's a hero.
comics, like yeah, I mean he's a hero and he's not like it's weird, you know, like people hate
Well,
him, he wants to be
here's
hero, but that's like Batman, you know, like you don't know they have their own things that they're fighting inside of them. The Avengers, they just want to like kick butt and like save the world, but with Batman, it's just like hey, he's putting these people in prison. But the Joker is like messing with his head to the point where like, hey, you're no different than us. Like that's what I like to see. That's the dark that I like to see
so you
in
like
those
internal
DC movies.
conflict.
I love internal conflict within stuff because it makes you think
Okay.
hey, like what if the superhero actually isn't like what
Well,
people think it
I would
is?
say like this is really general and really basic, but as far as like tiers of like famous superheroes, DC has Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash.
I think
Uh,
Flash would be above Wonder Woman.
no. They're all in the same tier.
Uh,
Um, and like maybe Green Lantern, and like that's it. I don't really know any other like obscure DC heroes. It kind of falls off after that. Whereas Marvel has Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, Thor, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, most notably, Doctor Strange. I'd say is B tier. Like obviously, a lot of them are in MCU, but there's as far as like general popularity, not counting the MCU, like before the MCU, these superheroes were still relatively popular. Because like if you told me in 2008, hey, do you know who Ant-Man is? I'd say I have no freaking idea. But if you say, hey, do you know who Hulk is? I'd say, yeah, I do know who Hulk is. Whereas, like, you know what I mean? There's just more superheroes that are more popular.
yeah, 100%. I agree.
So that's
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I
you now have a taste of what type of movies I like.
Yeah, I'll keep that in mind. Don't even trip.
Mhm. We
I
gotta see
just
Batman though. We gotta see Batman. We gotta see the
the
new
new
one.
one, I still haven't seen it.
We have
I
to see it, dude. Like, me and you will go. Like, I'll make time. We'll go to the
okay.
theaters and see it. We should go to like, we'll talk about that off. But yeah,
All right, that's gonna do it for us. I know this got out late, but we did it nonetheless. Next month should be a little bit sooner, so expect that in 2 to 3 weeks.
yep.
It's summertime. It's fun. Anything else you want to say before we head out?
Not really. I think we're good.
All right, follow our Spotify page. Like us on YouTube. Sub. Follow our socials. You already know how it goes. We will see you guys next month.